Hey everyone, it's Cal. I just wanted to jump on because I haven't been around for quite some time due to the internet issues we're having out here. Oh my gosh. Um, I want to talk a little bit about vibration because, well, vibration is everything, isn't it? I mean, we know that now. Vibration is everything. And when you go deep into mysticism, you become, profoundly aware of that and profoundly aware of, if you continue to question, profoundly aware of um, what composes vibration. And fundamentally, there are two forces. There's what is archetypally known as the male force, and the other, as you know, is the female force. Okay, so we can think of um, the male force as the builder, the creator, the sort of genius inventor, and we can think of the female force as sort of the grounded force, um, the mother, the provider, the one that heralds the mind on. And if we looked at, well, we can think of it in terms of the mind as the head in a human and the body as the mother, and within this body has so much intelligence that the mind can't even comprehend it. And the mind is continuing on its little journey of exploration and understanding and learning so much as it goes along. And of course, the mind is always trying to control because, either the mind gets greedy and it wants to control, or it lives in fear and that's why it wants to control, right? Whereas the body is more all about sharing and working together, and really that's how the body operates. It works as a system together, a collective. And if the mind listens to the heart and bows to the heart, then there is much success in the life. But if the mind continues on in fear and the need to control, and doesn't listen to the heart, then the mind becomes quite agitated. Listening to the heart is always the way to go because when you're following the path of love, you're always kind of in a good mental space because if you lose, it doesn't matter. You still had that joy at that time, and really that's what your spirit is always seeking. It's always seeking joy. So when we think about mind and when we think about sort of the body aspect, the soma, the two, one is just more refined than the other. This body has so much intelligence in it. It stores all of our thoughts and feelings all throughout it. Actually, I have to say mind lives throughout the body, and so does the other component, the female force. However, just for purposes of clarity, just trying to be really fundamental here, we can say that, the head represents the mind and the body represents the female force. And of course, the body is a larger quantity than the head is. And the head is always staring out, the mind is always looking out, trying to find that which will please itself. And the mind, as it is the inventor and the builder, it is the one who, invents and builds. And the body is the one that carries on and does what needs to be done, and sends impulses to you in times of potential trauma, in times of highly emotional situations of any kind. The body will come forward by sending impulses, and really our mind is trying to refine itself to understand these impulses. And that's why sometimes interpreting dream is so important. But of course, no one can interpret dream but you, because the dream will only make sense to the dreamer, because the feminine force is accessing and expressing itself through the dreamer. So these two forces are totally different, and yet they are related. And we can also think of it not just as an individual, but we can look at sort of mind and body on kind of a planetary level when we think about these globalists that are trying to control the world through using everybody's data online and creating all sorts of things to garner more information to us, to control us through our minds. Okay, but the world is composed mainly of the body. So we can think about sort of these brilliant globalists as being the mind, and we can think about sort of the rest of us as composing the body component. And truly it is the body that has the last say, and the power is in all the little details. It's kind of like the power is in the drops that fill the cup. The power is in the amalgamation of all the tininess together, and that's of course why we were being kept isolated and apart. But really what I'm trying to bring forward on this video is kind of trying to, for some of them, I mean, I know a lot of you have information and know all these things, but trying to really bring to the forefront this sort of two components of the separateness between mind and body. And really, mind has to bow to the body, because the body wears the crown. The body has the knowledge. It has that deep, deep knowledge. And that's why when you look at all these ancient religious pictures, you will see the Divine Mother wearing the crown, holding the baby and wearing the crown. She is the one that says what flies and what doesn't. And you can see that when you look at the globe, at any part of the globe, when it becomes out of sync, there will be a storm, or there will be some kind of devastation happen, and that's through the feminine force. When you think about mind and body, you can also equate it to like the atomic bomb. The explosion would be the male force. The explosion is the big dance, the male force coming out. But the implosion, which is far, far more devastating than an explosion, the implosion is the feminine force. The feminine force carries the power. And that's why love is power, because of its deep receptive nature that matches the feminine force. The feminine force will open doors, borders. It will get you anything you want, anywhere you want, the way, not always the way you want, but it will get you there, especially if you are exuding a deep, compassionate vibration. And this is really good to know. You can bring anything to you by creating deep, compassionate vibration. And the best way, really, I mean, you can practice that daily, throughout the day, through the act of forgiveness or gratitude. Uh, However, if you go into meditation and you do this repetitively, and you don't stop, you have a schedule that you do meditation, you stay to a schedule and you start building this deep receptive force, it is like a lake that you are dropping pebbles in each time you go into meditation, and you raise your vibration. And so once you establish at a certain vibration, but you continue with meditation, you continue to raise your vibration every time you go back to meditation. Now, if you don't do meditation, I mean, you can practice through thoughts, deeds, and words, the practice of kindness and all these emotions that are receptive. I do advise, though, meditation increases the power infinity fold because you are always building it. And thoughts, acts, and deeds are for the moment. But when you are in meditation, you are building a deep vat of resonance in the core of your being. And when that deep resonance is being created in the core, of course it will funnel out in two directions, and your signal gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and then the things you want come to you when you focus on them, and then let that focus go. So that's the benefit about understanding sort of the male force and the female force. The male force is when you get too tied up in your mind, too all about things and everything you see, and everything becomes outside of you. That's the male force running wild, everything outside of you. The female force is when everything is inside of you and you're working from within. And the benefit is there because when you're working from within, it is guaranteed ultimately. Whereas this force, if you're working from without, this mental force, it always has to keep maintaining its control. Keep maintaining and expanding its control out of fear or greed, but the female force lives in peace. As you grow and build from within, and your force grows, and you're attracting more and more beneficial things to you, making you, more and more happy, even though you're growing with happiness on the inside just through doing your meditation practice, it becomes win-win. Okay, so you see the difference there? Dealing with the mind and the outside world and the movement and the activity and the mind engaging and the trying to control, that is an endless cycle that there is no end. It's just continuing. Whereas when you're coming from within, you grow. You grow your resonance larger and larger and larger, and more fantastic things happen to you on the inside and on the outside. So that's the benefit of having a meditation practice. This is a topic where we could go on forever, but I don't want to talk you to death. So I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are. This is a little talk about vibration, where the two major players are mind, body, masculine, feminine. Masculine and feminine are only the archetypes, okay? Masculine and feminine exist within everybody. And I would have to say for myself, I'm probably dominant in the male, and my husband is dominant in the female force. He just has things come to him like unbelievable. So I just wanted to share with you the male-female mind, body, these two forces which act as yin and yang together. Life was really meant to be, you have your inward practice, then you go out into the world and you mix with others, and you have your inward practice, then you go out in the world and you mix with others. It's yin and yang. It's supposed to be together. It's supposed to be harmonious. and mind-body is supposed to be in harmony. So this is just briefly touching on the mind-body and sort of how they operate, the real basics. So thanks for watching. I hope you're having a fabulous day wherever you are, and we'll see you next time. Take care.